Welcome into NFL Daily by Chat Sports. I am Tom Downey, here to discuss some NFL news and rumors, and we start with all of these injuries at the quarterback position. 5 different starters at one point left the game with injury in Week 2. Baker Mayfield returned. The other players, not looking so great. First up is Carson Wentz, who somehow is dealing with sprains to not one ankle, but both of his ankles. Now, Wentz was undergoing tests today to determine just how severe those are. His status, per head coach Frank Reich, frankly just moments before we started filming, is still unclear. Unfortunately for Carson Wentz, the Colts quarterback continues to deal with injury issues. Sometimes it's the ankle, sometimes it's the shoulder. The best way I can describe Carson Wentz is this guy from SpongeBob. Everything's just always broken or bruised in some capacity. I hope it changes, but unfortunately for Wentz, he's always going to be an injury concern. I did not know we put it in the show, but I love it. Now, if Wentz can't go, Jacob Eason is the next man up, and he got a chance to play briefly when Wentz went down, and it was not good. I don't have great faith in Jacob Eason. This injury affects more than just the Colts, by the way. There is, of course, the playing time stipulation that is part of the first-round pick the Colts gave up to get Carson Wentz to Philadelphia. If that's not hit, well, the Colts might have to give up a first-round pick. So more than just Indy, that one the Eagles are as well. Let's go to Tua now. Tagovailoa got absolutely rocked because Jesse Davis was apparently not ready for the snap. It was a weird play. Blown up by the Bills. He is listed as day-to-day by the Miami Dolphins. He had an MRI this morning, or X-ray this morning on those bruised ribs. Nothing broken. So for Tua in particular, it's going to end up being really a pain management situation. Can he have that pain tolerance and still be functional enough out there to be better than Jacoby Brissett? I think he played great. And look, coming in the game as a backup quarterback who you didn't have many, if any, first-team reps is a difficult situation. But Brissett did not play well. The Dolphins are hoping Tua's out there because they got to see if he's the franchise quarterback, given where they were last year as well. Next up is Andy Dalton. Now, he did not suffer any tears, ACL, MCL, PCL, whatever. He is just dealing with a bone bruise. Now, in all likelihood, Dalton is likely going to miss some time with that injury. The Bears, in weird roundabout fashion with Matt Nagy today, said that Dalton is the starter if healthy. Well, he's not going to be healthy, I think, for at least a few games. I think we're going to see Justin Fields for at least a couple of starts now for Chicago. In a bit of a tricky situation, Fields was not great in that game against the Bengals. He took a couple bad sacks. Wasn't all his fault. The O-line did not play well either. Some extended service. It'll be better if he has a full week of prep as the starter, but Fields still has plenty of room to grow as the Bears' hopeful franchise quarterback. So of these big three, which is the most concerning injury? Is it Carson Wentz? Type in CW. Is it Tua? Type in TD or TT. Is it Andy Dalton? Type in AD. This is the pinned comment on today's video. So if you get the ad break here on YouTube, scroll on down and let me know. Let's talk Tyrod Taylor's injury and how that puts the Houston Texans into another weird situation at the quarterback position. Now, Taylor has already been ruled out for Thursday Night Football against the Carolina Panthers. He is dealing with a hamstring injury. So, unfortunately, again, Tyrod Taylor gets hurt and will now cede at least one start to the young quarterback behind him. In this case, it's Davis Mills. We'll get some more in depth on him in a second. But it's another tough break for Taylor and the Texans. Taylor's looked really good so far this year. Now, level of competition, especially in Week 1, was not very good. But in 2021, completing over 70% of his passes, 416 yards, 3 touchdowns, 0 interceptions. Taylor has proven time and time again, if he's not a franchise guy, which he's not, he can at least give you quality starts. But for Houston, whether he's ready or not, seems like it's going to be Davis Mills time. Again, limited opportunity last week, a rough situation coming in off the bench, wasn't getting very many, if any, reps with the starters. It's a tough spot to be in for a rookie, especially a third-round pick out of Stanford. Was 8 of 18, 102 yards, 1 TD, 1 interception. So it would appear that Davis Mills is likely going to get the start for the Houston Texans. Now, there are 2 other quarterbacks on the roster for Houston. There is, of course, Deshaun Watson, more on him in a second, and also Jeff Driscoll, who is on the practice squad right now. Let's start with Deshaun, because objectively, right, Deshaun Watson is the best quarterback by a massive margin, no slight intended toward Tyrod Taylor even, on this team's roster. But David Culley came out and said today again, he's not playing this week. So Deshaun Watson will be a healthy scratch for the 3rd straight game, even though the Texans are now down to their number 2 quarterback with Tyrod Taylor out. It is such a weird, unusual situation. Deshaun Watson has been the subject of trade rumors for months, and of course the well-documented multiple legal issues off the field stemming from the sexual misconduct allegations against him. But right now, he's just kind of hanging out there. He's on the active roster, not playing. He did some scout team stuff in the preseason as a safety. It is such an unusual situation. In fact, I don't think Watson will be active. Instead, I think Jeff Driscoll, the practice squad quarterback, will get one of those 2 game day call-up situations. So it is such a wild and unusual situation. Now, maybe Houston gets nervous about having to play with another quarterback. I still wonder if maybe they changed their mind about Deshaun Watson being active in Week 3. So get your votes in. Make your predictions for me. Will Watson be active Week 3 or hell, maybe at any point this season's a better question. Get your votes in. Y for yes or N for no. If you guys want to make some money betting on the NFL, do with our sportsbook partner, BetUS. Special deal for you guys, by the way, so stick around for that. Chatsports.com/bet, that URL right there, bottom of your screen. And the promo code over here, NFL Daily, gets you a 125% deposit bonus when you put down at least $100. And, of course, place a bet, right? On top of that, in addition to that deposit bonus, we will hook you guys up with a select version of NFL jerseys. We don't have every single player's jersey available, but there is a lot of variety for whatever team you're a fan of. Tons of options. So if you want an NFL jersey, head over to chatsports.com/bet. Use promo code NFL Daily. Sign up and deposit at least $100. That will get you a 125% deposit bonus. And if you place a bet on anything, any NFL game, before the end of Monday Night Football, we will hook you guys up with an NFL jersey. We only have select ones available. It's not every player, but there's a ton of variety. So email us, jersey@chatsports.com. Again, that is jersey@chatsports.com if you guys want in on that deal. Again, not every player is available, but there is a massive variety. I promise you, there is some type of jersey that you guys want that we can hook you up with. So, jersey@chatsports.com if you have any questions, or if you've already signed up and deposited, email us right now. Let's talk Zach Wilson and the New York Jets, because that was bad by New York in Week 2. Wilson and the Jets offense, again, horrible. Now, I do want to make this point very clear before we get too far in here. Going up against a Bill Belichick defense when you are a rookie quarterback is not easy, especially when, say, you're missing your best offensive lineman in Mekhi Becton. Now, Pro Football Talk, Mike Floyer did not wait long and said the Jets must sign a veteran quarterback right now. That way, you can bench Zach Wilson as needed and give Wilson a better veteran influence. The latter part there, I'm okay with. I like having a good vet mentor if that's the route you want to go. Benching Zach Wilson, though, I wouldn't have done that. Even if you had a veteran quarterback, that's not the route I would have gone. Zach Wilson has not been great so far. There have been some flashes, some promise, but Zach Wilson has not yet been a franchise savior for New York. Now, there's still plenty of time for that to change. But so far, resounding, underwhelming results out of Zach Wilson. Under 60%, under 500 yards through 2 games, 2 touchdowns, 5 interceptions, 4 of them against the Patriots, and a QBR, the ESPN stat of 22.6. Not great. There is a decent point to be made, though, that maybe Zach Wilson doesn't have the best veteran mentor influence stuff, especially in terms of a lot of what the bad quarterback does is to have good chemistry with the starter, help them in the pre-game week prep. I don't think Mike White is great in that area. So benching Zach Wilson, like Floyer suggested, hard pass, not interested. Adding a better veteran mentor than Josh Johnson, who I like, but isn't anything special, and I think maybe you'll find someone better, sure, I'm open to that. However, the Jets' window to do that has almost slammed shut. Your notable veteran free agent quarterbacks out there right now are not particularly good. There's Blake Bortles, who, okay, is he the right vet mentor for you? Probably not. RG3, maybe. He wants back in, but no one's picked him up. Matt Moore, I am a little bit intrigued by. He's bounced around the NFL for a very long time. Hasn't been elite, but hasn't been bad either. Cam Newton, by far, is the best backup quarterback out there, but is he the right backup? I don't really think so for New York. Drew Stanton, meanwhile, well, I mean, he's Drew Stanton. So it's a great idea to have a nice vet mentor there, but I don't know if the option is great right now. So what do you guys think? Do the Jets need to go sign another quarterback? Type 1 for yes, they got to bring in somebody, or type in 0 for no, they do not. Now, if you are an NFL fan, let's subscribe already. I know not everyone who watches is, but that's okay. But folks, we got multiple videos every single day on what's going on around the NFL, the news, the rumors. We answer your questions live, which I don't know who ESPN doesn't do that, I'll tell you that much. So if you want engagement and you want free videos, hit that big red button and subscribe right now. Let's hit Richard Sherman now, the veteran corner who had the off-the-field issues, the I don't know what it's called, the weird incident that went down for him in the offseason. Sherman allegedly, per the report from NFL Network, is in playing shape. So, okay, great. There are also, and this is confirmed now, several NFL teams that have been in contact with Richard Sherman. Now, he's still dealing with the mental side of everything that went on off the field in that incident that is, I think, a big reason why he's unsigned here in mid-September. There have been 4 teams very publicly linked, known to Richard Sherman. The Saints, Niners, and Seahawks, all of whom have adjusted and made cornerback moves already, either at the end of the preseason or in the regular season. Saints, of course, traded for Bradley Roby. The Niners got injuries. They added Josh Norman, Draker Patrick. The Seahawks went out and they added a bunch of corners via trade. The one new team, though, are the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Bruce Arians confirmed today that the team had contact with Sherman. Now, I think the teams are not rushing into signing him despite him being one of, if not the best cornerbacks out there, or player in the free agent market. I think they want to see how he's doing personally. That's a big deal for Sherman right now, given what happened a couple months ago. So make your predictions for me. Where will Richard Sherman sign this season, if anywhere? None, nowhere is a valid option. But I want you guys to shoot your shot for me right now in the comments section. Now, Sherman last year, these are the Pro Football Reference coverage stats, by the way. Sometimes you see different numbers for, say, Pro Football Focus, but I'm going PFR because those are publicly available. Not his best stuff. 5 games, high completion percentage, 4 touchdowns, 1 INT, 1 pass breakup. But I like Sherman. I still think he could contribute substantially to a team as, at minimum, a great veteran presence. And for some of the teams out there, probably starting at cornerback, given the injuries that have already hit multiple NFL teams so far. So I don't know what the future is going to hold for Sherman, but I think somebody at some point will give him at least one more shot.